Hello everyone, I'm Bonnie B. Welcome to my YouTube channel, Bonnie B's Homemaker Experience. I'm so glad that you guys decided to join me. Today I will be making a double for your trouble German chocolate cake. For those of you who have made German chocolate cakes before, you know it can be a little bit involved. Well, today I am making 2 cakes in time and effort that it takes to produce one, hence the name. Well, let's get started. Enjoy.
Okay, here are the ingredients. In the sifter, I have 3 cups of all-purpose flour, in which I have added the salt and the baking soda. The original recipe calls for using 2 cups of flour. But this cake is so moist and tender, I thought I'd try it and see how it holds up using 3 cups of flour. Next, there's the softened butter, white sugar, eggs, vanilla, buttermilk, or in this case, a buttermilk equivalent, of which I'm using a cup of almond milk with 1 tablespoon of vinegar. And then there's a ½ cup of coffee into which I will melt the German chocolate and then allow time for it to cool before adding it to the butter, sugar, and egg mixture. The original recipe actually calls for a ½ cup of hot water. My sister had mentioned, though, that since coffee enhances the flavor of chocolate, I might want to try it in my cake, so I did. Now to start mixing. First, start with the butter, beating it alone. Then add the sugar, not dumping it all in at once, but gradually streaming it in, allowing the mixer to continuously beat as it is added. Once all the sugar is added, let the mixer continue to beat the butter and sugar together until it's of a creamy consistency. You want it light and fluffy. By doing this, that is, creaming the butter and sugar together, you're using the sugar to create little air bubbles in the butter. And that's what helps to make the cake light and also gives it a fine texture. A couple of things I want to add here, and that is, as the mixture is in the creaming process, this is a good time to go ahead and separate the egg yolks from the white. That is the egg yolks, they're going to be added to the butter and sugar after it's reached the desired consistency. And then the other thing is that to make sure that everything is thoroughly mixed in, you will need to scrape down the sides of the bowl from time to time. All right. Notice the change in the color and volume of the mixture. Now add the egg yolks, beating them in thoroughly. Next, mix in the vanilla, then the chocolate. And you want to make sure that the chocolate and coffee mixture is cooled. If it is not, you'll end up cooking the egg yolks, and I assure you, that will not be a good thing. Now it's time to mix in alternately the sifted flour mixture and the milk, starting with and ending with the flour. This is to prevent the gluten in the flour from developing too much, which can cause the cake to be tough and chewy. So add 1/3 of the flour, then half of the milk, beating just until it is mixed in. Then repeat, ending with the flour. Don't overmix it. It will make the cake dense and gummy. All right, that does it. All right, the egg yolks have been added already to the butter and sugar mix. Now it's time to add the egg whites. But before adding them, we must beat them until they are fluffy, forming a stiff peak, and making sure that none of the egg white is left in the bowl in the liquid form. Then fold the egg whites into the cake batter. That is, to mix the fluffy egg whites gently with the batter by lifting them so as to enclose them without stirring or beating. Again, this will help to make a lighter cake. Once the egg whites have been folded into the batter, then the batter is ready to be poured into the pans. Alright, to get the pans ready for the batter, we need to line the bottom of each pan with wax paper. So what you do is you cut your wax paper to fit the bottom of each pan. But before you put the wax paper liner in place, grease the sides of the pan with shortening and then flour them. You're going to shake the flour all the way around to cover the sides of each pan. And add a little shortening to the bottom of the pan to hold the wax paper liner in place. Now we can put the batter in the pans. So what you want to do is, with the layer cake, you want to have your layers all the same size, as close as possible. So what I usually do is I will either eyeball it or use a scale to weigh the batter. In this case, I'm using a combination of the two because I forgot to check the weight of my pans so that I could deduct the weight of the pans from the total weight. Alright, they're ready to bake in a 350-degree preheated oven for 25 to 30 minutes or until the toothpick comes out clean. Now cool 5 to 10 minutes, then remove from pans and allow them to cool completely before frosting.
This ends part 1 of my Double for Your Trouble German chocolate cake video. Remember though to view part 2 so that you can see how I make the coconut pecan frosting for it. Now I pray that you enjoyed this video. If you did, click the thumbs up and subscribe to my channel, that is Vonnie B's Homemaker Experience, and share it with everyone you know. Remember also to click the notification bell so that you will be notified the next time I upload a video. Thank you again for joining me. Until next time, goodbye.